Welcome, everybody. Sorry I goofed up on the password tonight. Tonight we've got Fausto back with us, so we don't need any introduction. He does great stuff. He's been here before. Fausto, go ahead and take it away. We're interested in seeing what you got tonight.
Steve, thank you so much, and thanks everybody for coming at this 8 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time, depending where you are in this world. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone from Candlestick Forums to have me here again. I'd like to thank Steve Bigelow for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to his audience. Before we get started, just like to get to know, have any of you guys ever seen me do a speaking before, or are there any students of mine here that are logged in today? If you're a student, just write in student. Gary, you did? Okay. Few no's. Katie, never. Okay, a lot of no's. So great. So we got a lot of new people here. Looks like almost like 50-50. All right, excellent. And also, I'd like to get to know a little bit about everyone else. Could everyone just let me know, what kind of trader are you? Are you a swing trader, day trader, options, Forex? Just to get to know a little bit. Swing, day trading and swing, options. Options, swing, options. Good. Well, it's great because you know what? I'm going to talk a little bit about options, and I want to educate you guys a little bit about the difference between options and stocks, and also how you can also implement it in in ETFs or in futures and all that good stuff. But before I get started, once again, I'd like to thank Stephen for having me here, and for some of you who don't know who I am, I'm going to bring up a little PowerPoint, tell you a little bit about myself. But I am the president and founder of Cybertrain University. I've been educating people for over 17 years now. So let me just change the slide here and just go through a quick little intro. First of all, we all know we got to make the attorneys happy, but like Steve probably said the same thing. We have a quick little risk disclosure. Just everyone, just make sure you guys realize that there's a high risk of trading and past results aren't indicative of the future. And I know Steve and I are not going to take any responsibility, so make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. Anyway, let's get right to the point. You have to learn before you can earn. And that's why we're all here. We're here to learn a career that this is what you want to do for a living. This is how you want to make money. You're here for that reason. You're looking to do this as a career. Maybe some of you are semi-retired. Maybe some of you are looking for another job. Maybe some of you want to start taking matters in your own hands. But before you could do that, you have to learn. And what I'm going to be teaching you today, ladies and gentlemen, is some of the most important things, one of the key, most important tools that you will apply if you're a swing trader, if you're a day trader, if you're an options trader. And it's obviously called, knowing how to read the market properly. And that's what I want to really cover. I'm going to teach you one quick little strategy that if you seriously want to take your trading, just trade just in general, not even take it to the next level, just to understand how to read. This is what we're going to cover, and I'm going to show you that if you want to move on with this career, this is the most important thing you have to understand with anything. So, just a little quick introduction about who I am, and just like Steve had mentioned, listen, I want you guys to understand something, my fellow traders, that I am you, okay? I'm a human being. I'm just human, okay? I traded just like you. I started like you. And the sad part about me is I had to learn the hard way. And the hard way is being ignorant. You see, I started trading when I was about 22 years old. I just had my 41st birthday on September 18th. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. I love doing this. I love teaching, just like Steve does. We kind of like to give stuff back because we were successful. And not only that, but we've seen so many people lose money, and we don't like to see that. It's unnecessary to see that. Trading is such a huge failure rate. It's over 80%. And the reason why it's such a big failure rate is because no one taught those people how to trade the market. Well, let me just tell you a little bit about my little history, how I got into this. I live here in New York, the financial capital of the world, and I went to college and going out there and on my off time, I had a lot of friends of mine that were doing very, very well in the stock market, and I decided to take a quick career just trying to test it out and see how it went. Well, I started to be like a stockbroker, and I could tell you point blank, hated it. But I've learned a very valuable lesson being in the brokerage business that the biggest, most powerful job in the trading in the brokerage industry is the trading department. And that's what I really liked. I like numbers. I loved stocks. And that's what I wanted to do. So I quit my job and I started trading. Lost miserably. And what ended up happening, losing miserably, just for one simple reason. Ignorance. I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought watching CNBC, go on some financial stations, see what maybe the analysts know what they were talking about. And it turned out to that I was just taking darts and throwing against the wall. So finally, in being fortunate, I had friends of mine that took me under their wing and says, hey, Fausto, let me show you how to do it the right way. Let me show you, because I was sitting there, I was doing everything. I was crying for help. I was going to meetings. I was talking to people. But you know what my big problem was, which I think a lot of you are going to find out the same thing, is that I didn't want to put the time to learn to do it right. I want to just go in there, open up a brokerage account, and says, you know what, I don't have patience. I just want to go out there and go racing. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe some of you are exactly like I was. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now which you're going to learn. What I've learned on the first day on the job, I should have never, ever made my first trade. Because what I found out is that I didn't know there was such thing of a dominating brokerage firm who runs stock. I didn't know there was something called level 2. I didn't know there was something called hidden orders where, a market that a lot of you, I'm going to talk about it today, high frequency trades, and I got a really great story to tell you about that because it was a big article, a big topic on CNBC about it, and it's amazing how they don't even know what the hell it is. The people they had on there. But I'm going to tell you that as we move on. So in about 6 months, I became very, very successful, started trading, and believe it or not, at the age of 24, I was basically semi-retired in a way because I was only trading an hour a day. Trading is a part-time job. It's not a full-time job. Now, how I got into education was people asking me, could you train me? Could you teach me, Fausto? And, not having a lot to do and only trading an hour a day, the word got around, and that's how I got into education. And now we train thousands of people every week all over the world. And I love it. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not excited to open up your eyes to show you how the market works. Because you know what my goal is today? And I know that Stephen does the same thing. We all want you to understand that if you want to do this, you do it right. If you don't want to do it, do yourself a favor, close your account, give it to some mutual fund, let them make all the commissions they want, and then go back to your 9-to-5 job. Because it really stinks, by going out there with ignorance and losing it. And that's why, by the way, for some of you ever seen me, I'm also 11-time champion at the Traders Challenge. I beat every single school that I competed against. And I love competing. I'm actually competing next month in Canada in the Toronto Exchange, the Toronto Expo. They still haven't found someone to go up against me, but I love doing it. I try to do it as many as I can, and it's a lot of fun to do it. So if you guys get to see it, it will be webcast. So that is a little bit about me, ladies and gentlemen. And now I know a little about you, and now I want to kind of educate you guys a little bit more about what is the most important tool when it comes to trading. So, what is a Traders Challenge? What's a Traders Challenge? A Traders Challenge is when you have two professional traders from certain schools, and they compete and they try to make money in the market, just like almost like a boxing match. And that's what basically a trading challenge. I actually went to Paris and competing against all the Europeans also. But it's a lot of fun. So, let's get right into it. I know a lot of you guys say that some of you are stocks traders, options traders, day traders. One thing I could tell you right off the bat, if you want to learn about how to trade the market, you have to learn how to trade the stock first. If you're trading options, okay, remember what makes an option move. The movement of the stock, not news, no. The stock moves. That's why they call it an option. It's another option to trade the stock. Now, I like options, but you have to understand what makes the option move and that's the stock. So, let's go right into it and talk about what makes a stock move. Just out of curiosity, if everybody can answer this question, because I know obviously a lot of you are trading live in the market. Can you all tell me what actually moves the market? Who controls the market? Market makers. And what makes the market move? Emotions? No. Volume. Buyers and sellers. Supply and demand, Douglas. That's right. Everybody agree with that? Anyone's going to disagree? I think everything is predicated on supply and demand. I think Beanie Babies were, manipulated by supply and demand. Okay? So, we all could agree supply and demand controls it. Now, my question to you is this, and just like how George Stewart just mentioned institutions. George, do you trade stocks? Chuck, do you trade stocks? Albert? Bill? Just a quick yes or no. You do. ETFs? Okay. Stocks? Yes. Gary, you do? All right. So my question to you is this. Do you know who the big supplier or the big buyer and the big seller are doing in the stock that you're in? Do you know that? Do you know what the big boys are doing? Does anybody here, all of you, every one of you, do you guys know what the big boy is doing in the stock that you're in? Barry says, hell no. How can you tell? Well, Glenn, that's why we're here. That's why Steve had me here today. Because you have to understand, I was a market maker. Okay? I used to be the guy that traded against you. Now I'm on your side. Well, market makers. The guy who trades the most shares. So, think about this for a second, because this is what my mentors taught me. They says, Fausto, you're going out there and you're trading. Who do you think you are that knows more than the guy who trades the most shares? And he says, well, that's a dumb question. Of course he does. He goes, well, why don't you watch what he's doing? And I said the same exact thing you said. I don't know. I didn't know that information is available to you. Of course it is. Of course it is. And it starts with level 2 and total view. So let's talk about level 2. By the way, does anyone here know how to read level 2? Just give me a quick yes or no. A lot of you saying no. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's good for me. One no is more than enough to teach everybody. So let me bring this up right here. Now, I always do my presentations, and you've probably seen the past ones. I always talk about this. But you want to know what? It's one of the most – this is what controls the market. So, right here, ladies and gentlemen, I've got my pointer. On the left-hand side, these are the buyers. On the right-hand side, these are the sellers. You see you have 3 columns over here on the buy side. These are brokerage firms and exchanges. These are the prices that the brokerage firm or an exchange, NASDAQ, ARCA, BATS, NYSEs, these are people looking to buy the stock. We're looking at Cisco, the price they're looking to buy it, and right here on the right is the quantity of the amount of shares that they're looking to buy. Everything there is multiplied by 100. So 219 is actually 21,900 shares. Right here on the right These are people looking to sell it. This is the price they're looking to sell, and these are the amount of shares they're looking to sell. Can I make it bigger? I don't know how to do that. You might have to zoom in yourself. You can right mouse click and you can fix that yourself, Jim. So what you're looking at, you're seeing buyers and you're seeing sellers. You're seeing how many shares, at what price they want to buy it for, at what price they want to sell it. All that data is available for you. So understand something. By the way, I assume everyone here watches CNBC, or maybe you're in Canada or the financial stations. Do you guys ever notice, do you ever watch when they're on the New York Stock Exchange and they show the trading floor and you see like the specialists or the people walking around? You guys know what I'm talking about? You ever see that? Did you ever like look behind that trader when they talk to him? That's right, Sam. The crooks. Right. You see those monitors and those quotes? Do you know what they're looking at? Those quotes, you know what those quotes are? Right, what I'm showing you right now. They're showing you orders. They're showing you level 2, bids and offers. The colors are separating everyone due to price. That's what that means. Okay? So that's what they're looking at. Now, think about it. Who do you want to learn from? Okay? The guy on the floor that's trading, or some analyst that's giving you some analogy of what's the best thing, or if he thinks the next spread is. I mean, who can control and move the market? You know what? Believe it or not, I actually got suckered in about a year ago to listen to one of the top analysts. And the only reason why, because I believe in it. BlackBerry, RIM. He said the stock was going to $22. It was a steal here. Thank God I took a loss just about 3 months ago. You know, but knowing as a trader and seeing orders kept going out, sold, sell, you know, I'm not always right all the time. But my point is that these are things that you have to understand. Well, Robin, it's nice to listen to people because there are some smart people out there that know what they're talking about, but there are people out there that you have to understand, because I've trained a lot of analysts. I've trained a lot of hedge managers. You know, they're not traders. You know, they have good stock picks. They probably have some good analytical things out there. I've seen some of them work. But at the end of the day, what really makes that stock move? Supply and demand. And that's what you have to look at. Now, coming with level 2, now you have to go to the next thing. Okay? There's something called total view, which is, I call level 3. Now, does anyone here know how to read total view? Anybody here know how to read level 3? All right, so let me tell you the good news and the bad news. The bad news is the good news, I just taught you how to read level 2. The bad news is they're getting rid of it in 2013 because it's over 20 years old. Level 3 is the new wave of trading. Level 3 is going to give you 20 times more data. No, I'm not kidding, Tom. They're getting rid of it because, you know, it's being replaced by level 3. Level 3, what it's going to do is it's going to aggregate every order at every price. Let me put it in layman's terms. You're going out there and you're interested in buying, let's say, Facebook, okay? Facebook is trading at what? $22, okay? So at $22, let's say you put an order out there, you're interested in buying it. But you might also be a buyer at pulling out of your mouth and have an order of a bigger order at $10 just in case. But at level 2, you're not going to see that. On total view, you will. You guys ever hear high-frequency trades? You ever hear about the high-frequency trading? Okay? Like the big thing. You know, it's funny. I woke up, I was getting ready to go to work this morning. And the funny part is I was listening on CNBC. I always turn on CNBC, listen what's going on. I mean, it kind of helps me give me if there's stocks that I'm trading in the morning, I like to actually hear it. I can learn and find out what's going to happen in 10 seconds. Then it's going to take me 10 minutes to read it. But the funny part is they were talking about high frequency trades, and they had one of the $1 billion mutual fund. I'm not going to mention any names who it was, and and let me tell you something. These guys are like politicians. They knew exactly how to get out of a conversation that he couldn't even answer. They don't even understand what high frequency trades are. You know what high frequency trades are? There are orders that are running under total view. You see, orders that you can't see, those are high frequency trades. Big orders that are going out there, the real orders that are out there that are being advertised in the market. By the way, who here has level 3? TradeStation told me level 3 is for professional brokers only. You know what, Galton? I do education for TradeStation. You got to understand something. TradeStation, Schwab, all these brokerage firms. They you know what? I can almost guarantee you will not. First of all, you were not talking to a trader. You're talking to an employee there. They have no idea. Funny story is, I actually taught a student last week, and he says, Fausto, I called Schwab and I asked them about level 2, and they told me that it doesn't work. I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't work? They're like, yeah, you don't need it. Just follow the chart. I'm like, who did you talk to? I mean, is he serious? And obviously, because he was one of my students, he actually gave the employee from Schwab a lesson in himself. And he said, you should never say that again because you don't know who you're talking to, because you sound like an idiot, and actually you're hurting your company. They don't understand that stocks get driven up and down due to supply and demand. So you have to see where those high frequency trades are. Where the best place to trade options? Well, first of all, we didn't get to that yet. First, we have to understand how to trade the stock first. So my point to you is this, is that when you go out there and you're trading in the market, you have to know where the big buyers and sellers are. And, and I'm going to get to a couple of different slides, so don't mind about, I know the slides look a little similar to the other ones, but I want to kind of clarify and make sure you guys understand that we are going into an age where in 2013, you have to understand this data. You all agree the stocks go up due to supply and demand. Stephen teaches you supply and demand. Okay? Well, where does that data come from? It comes from trades. It comes from big blocks on the bid, big blocks on the offer. This is what makes supply and demand. These 14,000 shares on the bid, these 3,000 shares at the offer, having a game plan. When you go into trades, ladies and gentlemen, you need to have a game plan. We see orders, we see supports, we see resistance levels. Well, what makes a support level on a chart, ladies and gentlemen? Can anyone answer that question? When you look at a chart, what is it? Why does a stock make a support level? Because Fausto Puglisi said so? Because Steve Bigelow said so? Because Bernanke said so? Why is it? Exactly. Because there are buyers and sellers, supply and demand, time and sales, transactions going off at that price. Big block orders were traded there. Well, how do you see those big block orders? Right here. At 228, 10,000, 6,000 at 238. These are the things that you see. Big orders. Where you see supports and you see resistance levels. Why do stocks break resistance levels? Do you ever wonder? How is that even possible? Just out of curiosity. And I love asking you guys these questions because if you can't answer this question, you better get educated and you better stop trading. First thing, most valuable lesson my mentors taught me. They says, Fausto, before you ever go into a trade, you remember one thing. You're going in as a loser. That's right, you're losing money. And I'm like, well, how's that possible? Well, you're losing a spread and you're losing a commission. You got to make that first. And second, You got to know who's out there buying and selling it. You got to know who you're competing against. These are the things that you have to understand. Right here, you could see it. Stock has big block orders out there. 10,000, 2,000, 5,000, right around $8. Resistance levels here at $8 at 16. By the way, another lesson I want to tell you. Have you ever been in a stock and you knew you were at major resistance levels and it breaks it? Has that ever happened to anyone? You go out there and these stocks break these, and I know Steve's very big on charts. Did it ever happen? Trading is combat. It sure is, and you better be prepared to go to war. Do you know why it breaks resistance levels? It happened to you today? It happens all the time. Supports and resistance levels are made to be broken. Traders storm the barricades. A stronger demand, okay? And how do you know that? Ray, and this goes for all of you, and you know what? There's almost close to 400 people here. You all should be able to answer this. How could you find out if the stock's going to break that resistance? You're all saying there's more of a demand, but how could you confirm that there is a demand out there? Not the candlestick. No. Level 3. Well, level 3 is going to show you the orders. Time and sales. Anybody heard of time and sales? Kelly, go right ahead. Call me, Don's saying. No, Don, don't call me. I need to teach you how to figure it out. And I understand all of us here. I mean, listen, am I a great trader? Yes. I'm not going to be cocky about it. Okay, I was an 11-time champion for no mistake. But I get people ask me, throwing money all the time. Says, Fausto, you know what? You're a great trader. Why don't I just give you my money? You do it for me. I'm like, what do I need your money for? I can do it myself. I'm here to teach you how to figure it out. You're the one that wants to do it. Trust me, it's not hard. People make trading more difficult than what it really is. Okay? But getting back to how does that happen? Time and sales. You see orders getting executed. You see on level 2 in total view, you see those orders get executed. You see them happening. You got to be prepared for these orders. What is time and sales, Larry? Time and sales is the orders of confirmation from the exchange that a trade has taken place at that moment in time. So the time is telling you at this time, at 8:05 and 32 seconds, 500 shares were sold at $8.10. And it's you by knowing if $8.10 was on the bid or if it was on the offer, which is another lesson which we teach on top of that. Because seeing time and sales and seeing where orders are taking place is also going to tell you the direction of where the stock is going. Mike says, does level 3 allow you to see the dark pools of trading? Yes, they are. Those are the dark pools. Those are the live orders out there. Unless a brokerage firm is doing something in his office, within his own company, which they do all the time. But every order that gets executed has to go through time and sales. So there's no hiding behind that. And if traders need to fulfill their order, they're going to show it on level 3. A couple of questions here, just really quick. What about the orders not being executed from Steve? Orders that place in the market, then quickly withdrawn before they get executed effectively. You know what, Steve? That's a great question. And that's something that market makers do all the time. It's called refreshing, if you don't know what that means. And they might go out there and post big orders out there, maybe to influence the stock to go a certain direction. That's a strategy. But you know how you see that? In the dark pools, in the total view. And think about it. How many here are doing that right now? Not very many. Not very many. You know what? You guys have so many questions, and I seriously have to apologize. I'm trying to read a lot of the chats that you're going on. You guys got great questions. So if I don't get to your questions, listen, what I'm going to do here, just in case I don't get to your question. And by the way, I will answer all your questions, but I'm only short for time for about an hour. You could always personally email me at Fausto at ctucorp.com. There we go. So if everybody just clicks on my email, just click on that link. You could personally email me, and I will get to your questions if I don't get to your questions. Okay? Now, also, for some of you that want to get to know, I mean, because the market's closed right now, and I know that some of you, like they said, the market's closed, and we really can't show you live data. But I'm going to tell you guys later at the end of the presentation how you can find out a little bit more that I can show you in the live trading how this stuff works. But also, one thing I do want to mention to all of you, do you guys know when you look at the level 2 or you see those 4-letter symbols? Hold on, let me bring it up over here. These 4-letter symbols right here, do you know who those people are? Do you know who, for example, who BOST is? Do you know who is who is ARCA? BZXX? Do you know exactly who that is? Those are market makers and exchanges. Do you know who Goldman Sachs is? The godfather of Wall Street? Merrill Lynch? Shearson Lehman? You might not like them. You might think they're crooks. You know, that's your opinion. At the end of the day, I don't care. I'm here to make money, just like you. I don't take it personal. If they beat me, it's like losing on a Sunday game. It doesn't matter. You're not going to win every time. But one thing I can tell you is that I do have a list, which you really can't find on the internet. But if anyone is interested, I will personally email you the top market makers in the industry. Before they took this data down, it was on the exchanges. So if you email me, I will give you it's called the NASDAQ. There's about 500 market makers. There's only about 30 of them that are very active, probably 10 of them that are really control the market. One thing that I was also taught when it comes to trading the market is that you need to watch and get an idea. For example, when you see these big buyers and sellers, these market makers right here, I mean, when you see these support resistance, more times than others, you'll find a dominating market maker or a brokerage firm will have his orders out there. So sometimes, and I think that's where a lot of people get confused when they look at level 2. They really don't know who to watch. And, you know, so one of the things that I kind of teach everybody is that I show you exactly, if you knew who the market makers are, you knew who more the brand name guys are, you kind of give you a little feel of who to watch. So you can always send me an email, and I will send you that list. Let me go here. Do you switch call guys from the hammer? Well, you know, listen, Gary, we call them, I like to call them the axe, but some people call them the hammer. That's something else that they do. So it's that's a lingo that they use as market makers. So the thing is that you need to know supply and demand, which you all agree. You need to know who the buyers and sellers are. You need to know where they are. And once again, this is going to do is make your life a lot easier. It's going to make you just, when you go out there and trading in the market, it's just going to make you understand a little bit more of who's buying it, who's selling it, who's on the bid, who's on the offer, just to understand one thing. Trading is a game. That's all it is. And what I mean by a game, I mean it's like a video game. You just got to know how to play the game. And this is only going to help you to trade if you're using charts, if you're trading, you know, earnings announcements, stock splits, options. It comes down to one thing. Where does that data come from? Just like talking about charts, indicators. Where does the indicators get its data from? Gets it from the level 2. It comes from past data. So that would just put you one step ahead of everyone else. Now, another thing that I find that's about 50% of the failure rate of the industry is 50% of the failure rate, I would say, comes from not finding the right stocks. Okay? So, finding the right stocks, ladies and gentlemen, is probably key. Wouldn't you say? I mean, think about it. How many of you here, have any of you heard about the stock symbol? We're going to go check them out a little bit later. But did anybody hear about the stock NIHQ? Anybody hear about that stock? NIHQ? Or how about QCRO? NIHQ is up 17% today. QCOR up 15% today. ACAD 13% today. This was a great short. SWKS down 18% today. Down $5. Anybody hear those stocks before? Some of you have, some of you don't. QCOR down 50% today. Let me ask everyone an important question. Why are you trading? Why are you trading? To make money, right? It's exactly why we're here. And one last question. I'm sorry if I keep asking these questions, but I want you guys all to understand that we're all here for the same reason. We're all here, doing the same thing. Do you really care what you trade, or you care about making money? Oh, love those dollar signs, Barry. Making money, okay? More people lose money in the market because they're trading stocks that they are extremely unqualified to even trade. Do you know there's over 10,000 stocks in the market? Do you know that that 95% of the people out of the 10,000 trade 100 of them, the top 100? Do you know that brokerage firms put their best traders on the top 100 stocks? Do you know everybody, the extreme high-frequency trades trade within the top 100 stocks? Why would you even waste your time going out there and trying to compete against the best traders, the highest volume stocks, the biggest movers, and stocks at the most money? Because at the end of the day, if your goal is to make a day's pay, why you have to go deal with the crowd, the Christmas shopping crowd, when you could do it, on the summer of July without nobody knowing and being a sneak about it and getting it in there? Know about those little hidden kept secrets. Well, Sam, listen, like I told everybody here, I made the same stupid mistakes. Okay, and one thing that I've learned is that ignorance is going to cost you a fortune in losses. And I don't want anybody here to lose money. It bothers me so much to see some of you go out there and trade Apple. I mean, I know Apple's $700. It's great. I know. But who's going out there and risking $700,000? Or would you rather go out there and trade a stock that was 100 times less money and make the same amount of money? And I know you could trade options and this and that. Listen, that is another game. Understand that there are stocks out there that will give you less risk with more reward. And that's what you have to understand. Like timing. Well, Bill, listen, obviously you do not want to be on thinly traded stocks, and that I would never do that. There's something that we call it's called the 10 Commandments. And we have rules that we go and play, as in that you have to follow when we teach our students, that before you ever trade a stock, you have to go through these 10 Commandments. And I'll just really briefly, I think the last slide kind of showed it. We find stocks have tight spreads, plenty of buyers and sellers, plenty of volume, good risk to reward, Stock does a really good spread, good volatility, a dominating market maker that's at a support and resistance levels. That's just the basic stuff, that you all should know. And then just basically just watch it, and trade it and get that one little pop. 3%, no, less than 3%, maybe 3% a day of a money. A tight spread, I'm talking about like a penny or two. Some stocks will have, 10, 20, 30-cent spreads. A 30-cent spread on 1,000 shares means you're down $300 before you make $1. You want to be going into a trade already being down? Hey, listen, would anybody here be happy with a $50,000 a year salary? Why not, right? That's $200 a day. You want to go in a trade already down $300? That means you got to make $500 just to meet your day's pay. Well, everybody's different. And once again, everybody has different deep pockets here. So, how did I get into trading? Well, timing during the day, obviously. By the way, there's a certain time to trade and certain days time not to trade. And if you could see this, is that timing during the day, most of the action happens in the morning. So when you trade in the morning, a lot of that action happens. Now, Sam has a very good question, and I want to skip because I know Sam's been very patient. He goes, has this information useful for swing trading, please? Well, first of all, Sam, most traders on Wall Street are day traders, okay? You have to understand the responsibility as to learn how to trade a stock. How is this information going to help you? It's going to give you an idea of what you're looking at, understanding what the trend is, understanding supply and demand. If you can understand how a stock is going through the day, you'll know why it's continuing working as a swing trade. You'll understand that, a stock will continue to go higher if you're watching it during the day and you could see the big buyers still bidding up for it. These are things that are going to help you trigger, what you've already learned. Well, you could do very well in swing trading, but I will tell some of you that swing trading is a lot harder. It's not harder, it's more riskier than day trading, because when you hold a position, you got to remember, you're holding all that money overnight. And I know Steve will tell you that, and anybody else will tell you that. You do make more money as a swing trader. But to make more money, there's more risk with anything. Just got to keep in mind that stock could open up at zero tomorrow. And don't think that can't happen. You all see what happened in 2008, right? How's that Fannie Mae or AIG doing for you? Any Canadians out there? Anyone still own Nortel? I don't want to hurt, but it's the truth. How about Bear Stearns? I mean, you really can't trust these stocks. WorldCom. Oh, there you go. Anyone got any good ones? CMGI. Anyone got? I don't even know where to even start. I mean, you guys are getting to Enron, obviously. RIM is in Canada. I know Enron. It took everybody down. Lehman. So just keep in mind, don't underestimate. And we're talking about brand name stocks. Okay, I'm talking like blue chip companies. So don't underestimate that. All right, so we got about just a few more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. What I like to do is I like to do a desktop sharing. And it looks like I have to install it. Hopefully my system doesn't crash. Just give me a second here. All right, does everyone... Oops. All right, let me bring this up. All right, can everyone see my execution system? Just let me get a chat right here and just see if everybody can see it. Can everybody see the execution system? I don't have two monitors, so I can't Okay, good. Let me go back. All right. A couple of things I want to point out. Okay. We talked about some stocks. Now, let me just tell you what my to-do list is and what I do for the day. Okay. Here at Cyber Trading University, I mean, our main goal, what we try to teach people is understanding how to play the game. We run a social community with other traders. We work together just like, how Steve does it. We have our live trading room that we have for several years. Our instructors are in there. We're talking about Forex. We're talking about day trading, swing trading, options. We have several instructors that are working very closely with our traders. I'm in there giving stock picks or things that I'm looking to trade. And let me just tell you just a basic of what we do and what you should be doing. When I wake up in the morning, I put my shoes on, get my nice cup of coffee, get to my execution system, and I do something that's called shopping. And it's something we do in our trading room. We start our morning meetings before the market opens up. And what we do is we work off our percentage gainers and losers list. Because the percentage gainers and losers list is where we're going to see a lot of stocks that have action in it. And we'll go down that list and shop for stocks. Now, let's look at some of the stocks that were hot for today. Okay? Here's one of them. This was one of our biggest winners, NIHD. Okay? Never heard of the stock. Don't even know what the hell the thing does. And honestly, I really don't care. Okay? But right here, if you look here on the chart, I'm going to blow up this chart. From 9:30 this morning, if you could see this right here, this stock went from $6.85 up until 10 o'clock. And it ran from 10 to 10:15 from $6.85 all the way up to $7.70. Do you know what a dollar move is on 1,000 shares? That's $1,000. $1,000 times 5 days a week is $5,000. 5,000 times 52 weeks, you do the math. Not too bad. Even if you missed the stock, which is something we teach you at Cyber Trading University, you still had about 15 minutes. The stock was building a bull flag. And that's something we'll explain to you. Believe it or not, this might sound crazy, and I know Steve probably doesn't even know this himself. I was one of the actual inventors who started the bull flags and bear flags. I wish I had called it a Faustonaci when I had a chance. But, we were using bull flags and bear flags. I'm one of the original day traders, SOS traders that started back in the early 90s. When I started, there was only 1,000 of us. Now there's over 10 million. So I have a very long history of trading and pioneering this whole industry. But anyway, getting back to this chart, you see how the stock literally went from $7.70 all the way to $8, $8.30? You still could have made yourself a significant amount of money there. So that was one big winner, and there were a lot of them. QCOR. From 9:30, great pre-market trading. Probably some of you guys don't even know this stuff, okay? A lot of the execution systems allow you to do pre-market. I actually make most of my money in the pre-market. Look at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning, the stock ran from 25 to 28. As soon as the market opened up, boom, it went from 27 to about 10 o'clock to $30 a share. I mean, you do the math. Do you still got to work anymore? If you made that much money, this is why I'm saying trading is a part-time job. You don't need that much money to make a day's pay. This was another nice one, very cheap and expensive stock, ACAD. This stock was a great swing trade. In the beginning of September, it was $1.80. Now it's at $2.78, up 32 cents. By the way, guys, don't get embarrassed and shocked about inexpensive stocks. Less risk, more reward. You ever thought about that? Great short here. Stock finally had a great short. Built a huge bear flag. Thing took off. I was watching the stock. Huge sellers dumping the stock on total view. Eventually, the buyers couldn't support it anymore, and they just gave up and when they weren't there anymore, things just dropped about $3. So once again, these are things that. Hold on, let me stop sharing. Okay. So these are things that, when it comes to trading, that we show you now. Let me just get to some of the things right here. Hold on. There we go. A couple of questions here I want to get talk to, because I didn't see any of the chat here. Hold on one second. I apologize for that. Question right here, a very good question. Since the stock market is just a game, is there any way for this is from Brooke, to make money with the old buy and hold investing? No, I don't believe in that anymore. Those days you have to watch. You got to be more involved with today's technology and with today's volatility. You know, you got to be on top of your stock. You got to be on top of your stocks. You have the technology, ladies and gentlemen, for today to get in and out of stocks with so much power and so much control that, believe me, what happened in 1987, traders couldn't do what they did today. So there are some great horror stories that we tell you about. But can you do the buy and hold? You can, but you still got to know what's going on in the market. You really, really do. So Cramer's not worth listening to. Cramer's there for entertaining. I made a lot of money off Cramer, going out there and trading when he talks about some stock, and it just causes supply and demand. These are things that you have to know. But listen, can you do buy and hold? Yes, but you still got to be involved. You got to watch it. You know what? Look what happened to people who own General Motors. How's that working out for them? Huh? You just don't know. You really don't know. So, getting back to, ladies and gentlemen, and learning a lot of the stocks that we've traded. We're almost out of time here, and I just want to kind of give you a couple of things I want to just kind of touch upon. When are they going to allow options in pre-market? That's a good question. I'll find out and have to get back to you on that. I thought they already did. They already had it. But I know there's a meeting on NASDAQ regarding that right now, so I'm going to be attending an event next month about it. Now, getting back to discipline, ladies and gentlemen, listen, let me explain something to you. You don't need a lot of money to make a day's pay. Think about it. 1,000 shares at 20 cents a day is $200 a day. That's $4,000 a month. There's almost $50,000 a year salary there. How many of you will die to make $50,000? I actually put it this way. I know millionaires wish they made money last year. They said, I was just begging to break even. It doesn't take that much money to make a lot of money in the market. 20 cents? Seriously, guys, you think it's hard to pull 20 cents out of the market? It's not that hard. It's really not. You know what the hard part about trading is? This is our biggest failure rates of students. Discipline. The greed. And that's something I can't help. I could be the cop and tell you, coming up to you at the bar and says, hey, you keep drinking and driving, I'm going to pull you over, and people keep doing it. What happens? So, that's one thing that we do at Cybertrade University. We'll coach you and watch you and go through it. Brooke says, I would love to make $12,000. You know what? It's only numbers. It really is. So, for some of you who don't know this, Cybertrade University was ranked #1 school 6 years in a row by Equities Magazine. A lot has to do about our traders, our market makers, our instructors are all competitors. We have some of the best customer service. We have a huge staff of traders and customer service at Cybertrade University. Active Trader Magazine wrote a front page article on me regarding about market maker traps. By the way, if anybody wants that article, email me and I will get it to you. It's a 9-page article. I think you guys are going to be shocked and spooked and be surprised what you're about to read in that. Now, I know this all sounds great and everything, but I know a lot of you will like to say, hey, Fausto, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? You know what? I'm one of the very few people that will go out there and trade live with you. On September 20th and September 26th, I will be doing a live trading demonstration in the live markets. By the way, have any of you ever seen me trade live here? I'm sorry, September 20 was already booked. I apologize. So that was from this morning. We're doing one on September 26th, so you're right. Have any of you ever watched me trade live? Kelly, you have. Anyone else? Daniel said he saw you made me make a fortune in 15 minutes. How much did you see me make in 15 minutes? Oh, thank you very much. I paid $400 for Fausto's DVDs. I already made 20 times back on that amount. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed those DVDs. I know a lot of people like my DVDs. You know, over 10 hours of education there. And remember, and for some of you who don't know this, I mean, I'm only covering one topic of probably 30 or 40 of them that are in those DVDs. 1,800, Kelly, you saw me make. In 15 minutes? What did I trade that day? Do you remember? That wasn't ROSG, was it? Because I remember there was a few classes I did. There was one stock, I'd never seen that before. Stock went from 15 cents to $23 in a week. I'm just curious. So anyway, Steve asked me, all of you, to offer all of you something that you guys could take something home with you and learn from trading. Well, for some of you that want to actually watch us trade live in the market, we have a live trading room, okay? And basically, I'm in there, and we're going to trade live in the market, and basically the promotion price is $10. It's 50 cents. That's all it is. $10 for the first month, and then it's $99 a month after that. You can cancel it anytime you want. Try my trading room for $10. Okay? Go out there. We do a live morning trading. We do a live, and it's all live trading. It's a live WebEx meeting. All our traders and students are in there. They're working together. We coach all of you together. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you're going to learn something. That's the worst thing that's out there. Okay? So if you can't afford $10, do yourself a favor. You shouldn't even be trading. All right? But not being insulting, I'm just being honest. Listen, you want to do this as a career. You want to know if we're for real. You want to make an investment. You have to learn before you can earn. Go and definitely try it out. There's something you're always going to learn. So for everybody there, if anyone is interested in registering for that event, right on our homepage or our website at cybertrainuniversity.com, I'm going to give you guys the link. Hopefully my doesn't lock up on me, but because this happened past. I'm going to post that link in there for you. If you click on that link right there, ladies and gentlemen, it's our summer pre-sale for $10. It's a $10 fee, and once again, we'll get you registered for our cyber group, and also on our homepage of our website at Cyber Trading University. If you want to register for my live trading event, that's going to be the following week webinar. You're more than happy to register for that. But definitely come out and see us. Not here in New York, but come see us online. We've been doing this for 17 wonderful years. Come meet our students. Come see our live trading room. Listen to our instructors. Listen to Ralph. Listen to Stephanie, John Manley, me, Jared, Malcolm. All our instructors are in there working with our coaching, our students, what we're trading every day. Like I said, the worst thing could happen, you can learn something. By the way, does anyone have any last-minute questions before we end the presentation? Brooke has a good question. You teach day trading? I personally teach day trading. I love the day trade because I like to sleep at night. I don't like to hold positions, but I do some swing trading in my IRA. Obviously I'm not going to give it to some mutual fund and whack me with commissions. What I need him for, I can do it myself. What about training education? And by the way, for one of you did mention about the DVD set. Come to think about it, if anyone's interested in the DVDs, it's actually on the homepage of our website. And if anyone's interested in that DVDs, you can click on that link and get registered for those DVDs. Regarding about the election, Ray, let me tell you something. This happens every 4 years. You're going into the best time of trading. There's a lot of things could happen. Do I care what's going to happen in the elections? Well, obviously, my political views is one thing. How the market's going to trade is another. It's business. You understand? And I'll give you an example. Who was so happy they gave all the TARP money to all the banks? All our tax money went to these banks. I know all of us, we're all upset about it. I mean, I never agreed to it, but our government did. But you want to know what? That was one of the best opportunities. I made more money in the trading market than I ever made before. I traded Citibank. It went from $1 to $5. I mean, Bank of America went from $3 to $15. I mean, those are opportunities that you could have made 300 to 500% on your money. And now you go into an election year. I mean, whatever how it's going to affect is something that always remember, catastrophes unfortunately make for opportunities. And not saying that the election's a catastrophe, it's just that this is going to be it's going to cause some type of an opportunity to market. So you better start learning how to trade now and don't lose this opportunity. Where's the link for the $10 a month? Yes, for the cyber group. I'll put it up there again. Put this in there for you. And by the way, if anyone is interested in contacting me, you can always email me at faustop@ctucorp.com. And you know what? If you have any questions, there was so many emails, questions here. I know we can't answer all of them. There was almost 400 people here. I apologize, but trust me, I will get to your question. Email me if you have something you want to ask me, a personal question about trading. Listen, I want to help all of you. That's why Steve has me here. I don't like to see people lose money. I'd rather you know the truth and know if trading's for you or not than you go out there and lose it. So definitely go out there. Any other questions? Okay, Brooke has a question. How do we get level 3 and how much does it cost? Great question. You can get a lot of the total view. First thing place I tell you where to go is go to your check with your brokerage firms. Direct Access specifically. Ask them for total view. All right. That's the first place you want to check. If they don't offer it, then go to the exchanges. They offer it. And it's cheap. It's like $10 a month, $15 a month. It's not that much. No, we trade all day long. You're still trying to find a stock that's moving 20 cents a day? Well, come and watch our trading room. We'll do fine. There are stocks that move dollars every day. 20 cents, you're talking a very small movement in the market. Any other questions? I don't see access to level 3 on time and sales. Well, like I said, just contact me, and I don't know where you don't have access to it, and I'll tell you where you can find it. And you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, there's only so much I could talk about in an hour. I'm basically giving you a crash course of something very important of understanding supply and demand, understanding total view, understanding about shadowing market makers and, supply and demand, finding stocks. There's a lot that, we try to cover and squeeze in there. And that's something that you have to kind of understand that with the short period of time, hopefully a lot of you caught a lot of it, but I know this has been recorded, so you can always go back and review it. Sam says stay longer than I have time. You know, Sam, I would love to, but I'm kind of like running out of breath here, and I got to put my kids to sleep actually, and I got to get ready for tomorrow morning. Got a live trading tomorrow morning once again for that $10 package. There's some really good stuff that's coming out tomorrow morning of the stocks that we traded today, and they ended pretty strong, and I want to see how they do in the pre-market, so I got to get ready for that. Well, no problem. Well, anyway, listen, I want to pass the microphone back to Steve. First of all, I'd like all of you to thank you guys for coming. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward to hopefully see you all in my live trading chat room for the next month, and try us out. And once again, maybe I'll see you next week in my live trading presentation. And for everyone else, thank you very much. I'd like to thank Steve. I'd like to thank Candlestick Forum, and look forward to hopefully seeing you in the upcoming events. And once again, don't always remember, you have to learn before you can earn. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great evening.
Fausto, thank you very much. Very good information. And thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. We'll see you in the chat rooms.